Here we are, the English Education Study Program students. We learn the English skill and other knowledge of English directly, guided by qualified lecturers. Not only that, in our study, we have program. There are interesting program called chemistry. Chat English Mania exists every Sunday.
Okay, good morning. Have all participants for session 1 entered the Zoom meeting? Okay, I will start calling them one by one. First from SMA 1 Pasuruan, are you joining the meeting? Hello?
Yes, Sabita Almira and Ainaya team already here.
Okay, and then from SMAN 1 Soko, are you here? And then from SMA Al Mahadul Islami, okay. Okay, we will wait for SMAN Satu to join to this meeting, and after that we will start the debate. For SMAN Satu Soko, are you joining this meeting? Okay, everyone is ready to join this meeting. Well, motion and position as government team and opposition team for each session will be determined 15 minutes before the debate begins. And I also remind for all participants to always turn on your camera during the competitions. You can please turn on your camera. Okay, for SMA Al Mahadul. Okay. Okay. I will refill the motions and the position for each team for session 1 of semifinal of debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Okay. This is, as you can see on the display, the motion used for session 1 is this house supports that Gen Z will challenge for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to rely on technology. And while for the position of each team, as you can see on the display, first, Anggun Rahayu Ningrum and Fauzia Regina Puspita from SMA N 1 Pasuruan as the opening government. And then Karisa Husainia Shahnaz and Haura Insia Ali Saidina from SMA Al Mahadul Islami as the opening oppositions. Sabita Almira Turmalin and Ainaya Ambar Deniswara from SMA N 1 Pasuruan as the closing government. And Chantika Gita Kinanti and Fahira Rizky Ashila Ershani from SMA N 1 Soko as the closing opposition. Okay, you have 15 minutes to prepare your material or your case, and the debate will be commenced when time is over. Please also rename your account as well as your position, and make sure that you are stay turned on the camera during the competitions. Okay, please, for all participants, rename your account as well as your position based on the format that we have already sent in Telegram, and make sure that you stay turn on the camera during the competition. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Agnes Thessalonica, and welcome to the semi-final round for debate contest of National English Championship of English Student Association 3.0. It is a precious chance for me to be a tournament director for the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. The Honorable Mrs. Ana Asana El Sulukia, SPD, MPD, as the head of English Education Study Program, respectable Mrs. Emilia Ajeng Lestari, SPD, and Mr. Muhammad Naso Ihudin, SPD, as the judges for the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Respectable Alia, as the chief of committee Necesa 3.0, and all of the participants in session 1 who have attended here. First of all, let's pray and thanks to God who has been giving us some blessing, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in this event without any obstacles. Before starting the event, let's pray according to our respective belief. Amen. All right, let's start the semi-final round for session 1 for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Let's start it with the judges for the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. So, okay. Here the judges for these competitions. First of all, we have Mrs. Emilia Ajeng Lestari. She is the chief of chemistry. Chat English Mania exists every Sunday. Broadcaster program 2019. Second, we have Mr. Muhammad Naso Ihudin, the Vice Chief of English Student Association Universitas Pegara Negara 2021 until 2022, and the Chief of English Student Association Universitas Pegara Negara 2022 until 2023, the Chief of the Committee of English Competition of 31st Anniversary of ESA Universitas Pegara Negara, and the Tournament Director of Debate Contest at National English Championship of English Student Association, Necesa 1.0. We, as the committee for debate contest of Necesa 3.0, we ensure that the judges of the semi-final round are very much deserved and qualified to be judging the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. So, welcome to our judges for this competition. Well, to make it clear for the participant, I will re-explain to all of you about the system that we use in this contest. We use the British parliamentary system for the debate contest of Necesa 3.0, and the debate will consist of 4 teams of 2 persons. Person will be known as members. There are opening government, include Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. Second, opening oppositions include leader of the opposition and deputy leader of the oppositions. And third, closing government include member for the government and government whip. And the last, closing opposition include member for the opposition and opposition whip. Member will deliver substantive speech in the following order. First, Prime Minister. Second, Opposition Leader. Third, Deputy Prime Minister. Fourth, Deputy Opposition Leader. Fifth, Member for the Government. Sixth, Member for the Opposition. Seven, Government Whip. And eight, Opposition Whip. Members will deliver a substantive speech of 7 minutes duration and shoot over POI while members of the opposing teams are speaking. And members are permitted to use electronic and printed or written material during preparations and during the debate. The material includes e-book, books, e-journals, journals, newspaper, and other similar materials. POI may be asked between first minute mark and the 6 minutes mark of the member speech. To ask POI, a member should click the right hand button and extend the other towards the member speaking. The member may announce that they would like to ask a POI or use other words to this effect. And the member who is speaking may accept or decline to answer the POI. And then POI should not exceed 15 seconds in length. And members should attempt to answer at least one POI during their speech, and members should also over POI. So that was about the British parliamentary system, and I do hope that all of you can understand well about the system. There were also some rules and terms in that all a member of debate needed to obey. Well, everything has been explained for the semi-final round for session 1 of debate contest of Necesa 3.0. So let's start it. Well, I believe everyone is here. So just like to call upon the teams and just to make sure that everyone is here and before we proceed with the semi-final round. Okay, I will checking if opening government from SMA and Satu Pasuruan is here. Yes, okay. You can check your audio. And then next we have SMA Al Mahadul Islami as the opening opposition. Are you here? Okay, thank you. Next, the closing government we have SMAN Satu Pasuruan.
Yes, I'm Sabita Metromalin as member of the government and my partner.
I'm Ainaya as the government whip in here.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, we have SMAN Satu Soko as the closing opposition. Are you here?
So I'm Chantika and my partner, Tahira.
Okay, thank you. All right. Oh yeah. Before we start this competition, please also I will remind you to rename your account based the format that we already sent in the Telegram. For okay, for SMA and Satu Soko, are you ready to rename your account? Please, for SMA and Satu Soko, can you rename your account so the judges can easier to give you our score? Okay, I believe everyone is here. So first of all, welcome to the semi-final round for debate contest of National English Championship of English Student Association 3.0. We are expecting a very high quality debate from all of you. And before we proceed, I would like to invite every speaker from every team to introduce themselves, starting in opening government. Anggun Rahayu Ningrum and Fauzia Regina Puspita from SMAN 1 Pasuruan. Please state your name and speaking order. Please unmute your microphone. Sorry, from SMA 1 Pasuruan, Anggun, I cannot hear your voice.
Room as the Prime Minister of Government team. So I will explain. Think about a generation that grew up with instinct as far as their fingertips reliance on technology be their greatest
Sorry,
their biggest
Anggun.
stand in invest the financial competition ahead.
Sorry, Anggun.
Picture a future where the competition for jobs
Sorry,
is
Anggun. We just need to introduce yourself and your speaking order. Your name and your position.
yeah, sorry. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then I call upon Tarisa Husaina Syahnas and Haura Insia Ali Saidina from SMA Al Mahadul Islami to also introduce themselves. Please unmute your microphone. Can you unmute your microphone from SMA Al Mahadul Islami and introduce yourself? Sorry, we cannot. I cannot hear your voice. SMA Al Mahadul Islami, can you unmute your microphone and introduce yourself? Okay, maybe you can checking your microphone. Then Then I call upon Sabita Almira Turmalin and Ainia Ambar Daniswara from SMA N1 Pasuruan to introduce themselves.
Okay, am I edible right now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so I'm Sabita Almira Turmalin as the member of the government and my partner.
I'm Ainaya Ambaradiswara as the government whip.
Okay, and then Chantika Gita Kinanti and Fahira Rizky Ashila Ershani from SMA N1 Soko as the closing opposition. Can you introduce yourself? Sorry.
Okay. I am Cantika Kitakinanti as the member of the opposition. And my friend?
I'm Fahira Rizky, and I'm going to be the second for Chantika.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can change your virtual background and please states that we can know your face in this Zoom meeting. Okay, so in that case, we can just directly proceed. I call upon the Prime Minister to open the semifinal round for debate contest, and you can start after the countdown. Okay, wait, I will set up the timer. Okay, timeran.
Ini kan mulai bicara. Okay. Think about generation that grew up with instant as far at their fingertips as the job market evolves. Will Gen Z's reliance on technology be their greatest threat of their biggest obstacles in facing the fierce competition ahead? Picture a future where the competition for jobs is fiercer than ever. Will Gen Z, a generation shaped by their deep connection to technology, overcome the challenge, or find themselves trapped by their own demands? Imagine a future where the job market becomes an instant battleground and survival of the fittest takes on whole new meaning. Good morning, the Honorable Judge. Esteemed guests and full debates, as the Prime Minister, I'm Anggun, honored to address these critical issues today. We stand before you to discuss whether Gen Z will face more severe challenge in scoring future jobs due to their tendency to rely on technology. Today, I probably support the motion. This House support that Gen Z will challenge for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to be reliant on technology. To clarify the scope of this debate, we define Gen Z as the individual born between 1997 and 2010, challenge for future jobs, an increase in competition for employee opportunity, and rely on technology as the growing depends on digital tools, learning, communication, and day-to-day activities. One of the core reasons why Generation Z will face more severe challenge in future job markets as is their tendency to rely heavily on technology, which undermines the development of essential problem-solving skills. In today's job market, employees value creativity, adaptability, and the ability to approach complex problems with innovative solutions. However, Gen Z, having grown up instead as far from searching engines and AI tools, often lacks the ability to think critical and solve problems without relying on technology. For example, when a technology system fails or faces unforeseen limitation, many Gen Z workers may struggle to find alternative solutions. This inability to handle real-world complexion without digital support makes them less resilient and adapted in high-pressure environments. Furthermore, work
POI, please.
no thanks workplace often requires problem solving that involve human commitment for emotional intelligence skill that technology cannot replace. This creates a paradox while chances technology fluent is an asset. Their over reliance on it may become a liability when facing challenges that require independent creativity or analytic problem solving. Of course, given that Gen Z's reliance on technology is reshaping the job market by increasing competition and recruiting skill recruitment, how can we address the broader implication of this shift, such as the potential for intellectual inequality, the growing demand for continued upskill? If technology were to fail during a critical situation in the workplace, how about a generation that relies on automation and instead solution handle such a critic effect?
Oh, apa sih tadi? Oh, masalah.
Did you know that we don't only see from general impact, but we can see from other impact? So that's all for me. Thank you. Kedengeran sih.
Okay. Thank you for the Prime Minister for that speech. And then, okay. And then I call upon the leader of the opposition. You can start to give your speech after the countdown.
I'm sorry, but this device is not support to sound.
background.
So we have to use this. Is it okay?
Okay, it's okay.
Sorry. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. The honorable judges, and ladies and gentlemen. Today we stand in firm opposition to the motion. This House support that Gen Z will challenge for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to rely on technology. Talking about Gen Z, that Gen Z often labeled as digital native is a generation deeply integrated with technology, but to argue that this reliance will create several challenges for their future employment is to overlook the tremendous advantages they possess. Let us explore why this narrative is flawed and how Gen Z's relationship with technology empowers them instead. First, having many careers option. Gen Z's familiarity with technology opens up a broader array of career opportunities compared to the previous generation. The rise of tech-driven industries such as AI, data science, digital marketing, and app development ensure that Gen Z is well positioned to thrive. Unlike previous generation, Gen Zs can easily transition into multiple fields, including remote work, freelancing, and entrepreneurship due to their comfort with technology and digital tools. Second, Gen Z adapt quickly to technological development or digital natives. As digital natives, Gen Z can adapt more quickly to new technologies than older generation. Their lifelong exposure to technology enables them to learn new tools, platforms, and systems efficiently, minimizing job-related challenges. Automation and AI may transform jobs, but Gen Z is better prepared to work alongside this technology or pivot to roles that require tech fluency. Third, access to information easily. Gen Z's ability to access information instantly gives them a competitive edge in staying updated with industry trends, learning new skills, and solving problems efficiently. Platforms like Coursera, YouTube, and LinkedIn Learning provide affordable and accessible resources for Gen Z to upskill on demand, reducing the severity of job challenges. Access to information so that Gen Z can continuously adapt and self-improve, allowing them to stay relevant in their workforce. And according to a LinkedIn report, that 76% of Gen Z professionals use online research to learn new skills and stay competitive, compared to 68% of millennials. Fourth, flexible and effective. Gen Z reliance on technology fosters flexibility and effectiveness in navigating remote work, hybrid work environment, and the gig economy. This
Yo,
adaptability
I.
reduces no, thank you. The likelihood of facing several challenges in the job market, and many Gen Z professionals are accustomed to multitasking, using digital tools, and working across time zones, making them highly desirable in globalized and tech-driven industries. Flexibility ensures that Gen Z is better equipped to handle the uncertainties of the modern job markets, making them less likely to struggle compared to generation that less accustomed to tech-based work environment. And research from
No,
Institute
I.
by No Thanks reveals that 56% of Gen Z works priorities job with flexible work arrangement, and their tech proficiency makes them more productive in these roles compared to other generations. Thank you.
Yo, I.
No thanks.
Okay, thank you to the leader of the opposition for that speech. Moving forward, I call upon the deputy of prime minister to close the case from opening government.
Imagine a job interview where you're expect to showcase your creativity, adaptability, and communication skills, but instead of thinking through the problem, you find yourself reaching for your phone to search for quick solutions. Is this how we want Gen Z to face the job market, a generation that relies too heavily on technology? Good morning, Honorable Judge and fellow debaters. I'm Fauzia as the Deputy of Prime Minister. Today we are debating whether Gen Z reliance on technology will make it more difficult for them to secure jobs in the future. The motion we are discussing is this House support that Gen Z will challenge for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to rely on technology. I stand before you as the second speaker of the government team, and I will explain why we believe Gen Z heavy dependence on technology creates significant challenge in the job market. Technology, while helpful, can sometimes become a curse, and in this case, it may be holding Gen Z back from developing the skills they need to thrive in a competitive world. Let's start with the first challenge, problem solving and critical thinking. In today's fast-paced world, technology can make tasks easier and faster. But when Gen Z relies too much on digital tools like using Google to find solutions immediately or relying on AI tools to generate ideas, they may not learn how to work through problems on their own. Technology provides answers quickly, but it doesn't teach you how to find those answers independently. Imagine you're learning math. If you always use a calculator, you'll never develop the ability to do basic math on your own. Similarly, Gen Z might be skilled at using technology to solve problems, but without developing independent thinking, they won't know how
Your
to
eye,
approach
please.
and technology isn't no thank you isn't available. Take the healthcare sector for example. During the pandemic, healthcare workers had to manage situations technology couldn't predict or solve. They had to think critically when system failed and quick decisions had to be made. Gen Z, who are used to relying on technology for answers, might have struggled more in such situations than older generations who were trained to think and adapt without technology. Moreover, a study from the World Economic Forum in 2022 showed that while Gen Z is skilled in using basic digital tools, they lack advanced skills like data analysis and creative problem solving. As technology continues to reshape industries, workers will need to be able to make decisions in situations where tech doesn't have all the
I.
answers. Gen Z, unfortunately, might be at a
I
disadvantage in
please.
this area.
you are limiting about the human's capability itself, how you think about it, because we consider that computer itself, the all itself, is just produced by technology.
No, I will continue my speech. Kenzie, unfortunately, might be at a disadvantage in these areas. Another significant challenge for Gen Z is their struggle with developing soft skills such as communication, teamwork, and adaptability. These skills are crucial for success in most careers. Unfortunately, Gen Z reliance on technology for communication through texting, social media, or online messaging limits their ability to develop strong face-to-face communication skills. Employers today place great value on candidates' ability to engage in face-to-face interviews and team projects where communication is key. A LinkedIn study in 2021 showed that employers value communications and leadership over technical skills, and yet Gen Z candidates often lack these crucial abilities because they're used to texting or emailing instead of interacting directly with others. Moreover, in collaborative environments, digital tools like Zoom or Slack are widely used, but they can replace the teamwork and emotional intelligence developed through in-person interactions. For example, consider working in a team to solve a complex problem. If Gen Z workers have not honed their interpersonal skills, they may struggle with cooperation and understanding the needs and feelings of others in the workplace. If face-to-face communication and soft skills are necessary for success, how can Gen Z thrive in a competitive job when their over-reliance on technology limits their development in these areas? In conclusion, while technology is undeniable an important tool, Gen Z over-reliance on it creates real challenge when it comes to securing jobs in the future. Their dependence on technology weakens critical skills like problem solving, creativity, and face-to-face communication, which are essential for success in most careers. The job market is not just about knowing how to use digital tools, it's about how to think independently and connect with others in the real world. Honorable Judge, technology should be a tool to enhance skills, not a crutch that limit growth. Gen Z offer independence on technology rather than giving them an advantage creates significant barrier for their future success. That is why I really support my team because my argument better than other groups. So that's why we hope that the honorable judge supports our group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the Deputy Prime Minister for that speech. Next, I call upon the Deputy Leader of the Opposition to close the case from opening oppositions. You can start your speech after the countdown.
Okay, thank you, esteemed judges and my respected first speaker for laying out of our position so clearly. So here I am to support my first speaker argument that Gen Z will Gen Z will not challenge to the future jobs because Gen Z's strength in remote and hybrid work. The pandemic accelerated the adoption of remote works, and Gen Z is uniquely suited for this transformation. Here are some key factors. Gen Z are digital natives. From a young age, they've been exposed to smartphones and social media and other digital tools that make remote communication and collaboration seamless because Gen Z has generally mastered. And then uh, access to job search platform, Gen Z is more accustomed to using online platforms to search for jobs such as LinkedIn, JobStreet, or even social media like Instagram or Twitter. They find it easier to access job opportunities around the world with just a few clicks. And then Gen Z quick adaptation. Gen Z is known to be flexible and quick to adapt to technological changes and new ways of working. They are more open to remote freelance or gig economy jobs, which provide more opportunities and improve education and training. Many younger generation now have better access to education and training relevant to current industries. Many are also accessing online courses that can help them acquire certain skills and that employers are looking for. And changing perspective of the world of work, many companies are also more open to diversity and a more flexible work culture like remote and hybrid work. So Gen Z is looking for more work-life balance, and companies are starting to realize the importance of offering flexibility and an inclusive work environment to attract young talent. And tech, tech, technology savviness as an asset. Gen Z has grown up with technology, making them the most digitally native generation. This familiarity positions them as natural leaders in a workforce increasingly dependent on technology. Their fluency in tools, apps, and digital platforms can give them a competitive edge. A rapidly changing job landscape. The job market is evolving and technology itself is replacing many roles. If Gen Z focus too narrowly on current tech trends without considering adaptability or multidisciplinary skills, they might find themselves underprepared for future demands.
POI.
No thanks. Uh, So for the evidence, 2022 Microsoft World Trend Index revealed that 70% of Gen Z prioritize jobs that offer flexibility compared to 55% of millennials. This adaptability makes them more resilient to workplace challenge. And Gen Z leverage technological tools like project management software, Notion, Slack, and Trello to maximize productivity. Gen Z also, as a digital natives, has
POI.
no thanks. Can access information easily because technology enables Gen Z to upskill and reskill at unprecedented rates through platforms like Coursera, Learning, and YouTube tutorials. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Deputy Leader of the Opposition for that speech. Next, to open the closing half of the debate, I call upon the Member of Government. You can start after the countdown. Okay, the member of government, are you audible? Okay, we will wait for the member of government because they have some trouble. Okay, wait for a minute. Okay, from closing government, are you here?
Yes. Am I edible right now?
Okay. Okay, you can start your speech after the countdown.
Okay, so I agree about there are so many kinds of modern jobs or work and with flexible hours, but there are a few things that I want to rebuttal from the opponent team. Firstly, Kenzie have adapt quickly. I'm sorry. So first is Kenzie is find easier to apply job with click. I want to ask you about this because I did not agree with this statement because even though it's easier to apply job, but uh, the job that you apply is you still need to skill that relevant to your job that you are apply with it. So I did not agree with this statement because even though it's easier to apply jobs, you still need skill. Like example, for data analyst, you just can't just apply that job just like uh, apply it with that there is um, no skill that you are relevant with data analysis. Like you need to have like bootcamp certificate as for example, and you still need to know how what is data analyst doing or what is the job of data analyst. You just can just like, oh, there is many jobs that available in the internet or in the social media, I want to apply it. You just can't like that because the first is you need to skill that relevant to the job that you want to apply. So this is why I did not agree with this statement. Okay, second, the opponent team have said that 68% Gen Z are easily find jobs with modern jobs like flexible work and other example. So I already asked BOI about this to the opponent, but unfortunately they refused to answer. However, I'm curious about what is the source from this data because even though 68% Gen Z are easily find jobs, but do this 80% Gen Z could have these jobs with there is no skills that they are get from any course or are this 68% Gen Z could easily find jobs because they have certificate or anything. So this is why I did not agree and I wondered about this data. Okay, so I will continue from my first point is Kenzie is hard to get a job because they are rely on technology and this is why it's leading to lack of creativity. For example, when we are working, Kenzie is likely to tend use technology or AI to do their work, but without skill, the result will be all come from AI, and there is no creativity or uniqueness from their result work. So this is why can see that tend to rely on technology fully will have no uniqueness in their results work. Okay, next is tendency to rely on technology also leading to AQ or emotional coercion will fade away. Why I say that? Because if Gen Z are truly using all the result from that AI making with no checking or with no thank you with no facet away or using your emotional quotient from yourself, there will be no uniqueness in
BOI.
your okay.
So how you
Okay, go
think
on.
about your opinion about technology is not something that harm us, but also but the tool that support us toward that creativity or something that you say originality.
Okay, I didn't know what you get, but I will continue. So this Kenzie that rely on technology, especially in artificial intelligence, means that they're not using any their creativity, they are not using any emotional quotient to their result work. So this is why this is leading to downfall to their emotional quotients. This is why we are support this motion, because this is truly, because if Kenzie is fully rely on technology, especially AI, this is will leading emotional quotient will fade away. Okay, this makes huge difference with millennials, as we know that millennials are hard worker and have big desire to get promotion for better positions in work environment, right? So this is why between that the difference between Kenzie and millennials itself, we can see that Kenzie is known as just want the result, just want instant, but they don't like to get the process, to get hard work from what they're going on the work environment, like the workshops. So that is why we are very support these motions, and we are likely to impact okay, I will not impact our my arguments. So I will, so I'm agree for today's motions, because Kenzie is hard because Kenzie is lack of technology because they rely on technology. So thank you. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you to the member of the government. And then I will call upon the member of the opposition. So you can start to speak after the countdown.
Closing opposition. So, I'm the member of the opposition side of the house. And the government side of the house has already stated about the by technology that he said that it has already limited their abilities of soft skills and so on. But first, by the existing of technology that we have to remember, we can know more further informations of, for example, of the competitions. For example, right now, as what we exactly doing right now, we join a competitions that we knew at the very first time, for example, from our Instagram account and from another social media account that we have, so that we can join this kind of competitions to build more our soft skills and not for limiting our abilities of having those kind of soft skills. And so that we're the government side of the house are already wrong about saying that it is actually limiting our soft skills or soft abilities that we have. And just by that, we
POI.
also have no, thank you. We also have another things to say, but for example, in our social, in by the technology, we also can know that there's a lot of things that we can access. For example, they have a lot of programs that building some kind of more soft skills. For example, from the university, there's also Yale University that having that kind of program. That there's also Harvard, there is also Oxford, and so on. So that by the existing of technology will not going to limit the abilities of the Gen Z itself to having some kind of soft skills, but it will help them to build more soft skills that they have. So by the government side of the house has already um not accepting our POI, even though we are trying to know what is exactly their point of view about the other side of our what we're trying to ask, but they are reject all of our POI, and so that make us fail to know what is exactly their point of view about this. So even if we know that there is the negative impact of the technology of the using of technology, but we can choose it by ourselves because it's depend on ourselves, because the use of technology itself, whether is positive or negative, is basically based on our self-defense. Okay.
POI.
we're not gonna talk about no thank you. We're not gonna talk about the reliance of the technology will leads more harm than good, so because it is basically came from our self-defense. If we want to do, we can control it by ourselves. If we want to do some kind of things that is actually positive for ourselves, so that we can use the good things, the positive side of the technology, and will not gonna do some kind of bad things that caused by the existing of technology itself. So I'm moving to the second layer of the arguments that we have. So it is about the Gen Z. So as we know, the Gen Z is actually its nature that we that that is actually came from the
Okay,
nature that come
POI.
from the no thank you that come from the age of 15 and until the 21, if I didn't made a mistake. But the existence of the technology is for the expertise as a key asset. So they set a new standard and become more competitive of having a new workforce and to have a lot of more job and more works to do. Okay, so we as the Gen Z, we are the controller of the future. Okay, we help the future. So and the technology itself, it is what first what really want to say. It is about book. It's not just about the physical book. The technology is the smartest book that just we can found and we can afford in a daily life. So by the existing of this motion, it will lead to more diverse and more some kind of job and workforce that exists, and not to limit the kind of the jobs that exist in our society. So this technology will create more workforce so that it will help their own kind of economical side to have a stable life. And for example, we have a lot of freelancing and remote job, and we can find it from the kind of the technology that we have in our social media, in our devices on our daily life. And even if not everyone are having a proper tools to keep up with society, but we can we cannot just stay in a current status quo, because we have to, because at the as long as time is ticking, the technology will also develop and will also build more and more. And because the existing the technology will also giving more kind of creative and innovating jobs as long as time is ticking. Okay, so that the the existing of the technology itself is not gonna make us rely on this, and will also challenge the job that exists in a further conditions of the our future. But it's also will make creative and more diverse of the kind of the job that is exists in our society. But we know we are the one who make the technologies such as the Googles, the ChatGPT, and so on. And we cannot just abandon this kind of technology just because it is not our things. But as long as I'm sticking, the technology will also develop in clean more and makes us having a lot of things to do. And we have to do some kind of advantage of the existing of technology ourselves, our job future.
Okay, thank you to the member of the opposition for that speech. Next, to close the case from the government, I call upon the government whips. You can start your speech after the countdown.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ainaya from Government Whip. What we are stating here is the first is rebuttal, and the second is my point. The first is I will say my rebuttal. The opponent teams are state that adapt quickly to technology. is bad or in a good side. Like we know, in reality, not everyone have the same change with the others. Like, for example, teachers can be replaced by technology, but why? Students like search and information by internet. So what do you think about that? Do you think about the consequence for adapt quickly to technology is for everyone? And second is prioritize jobs that remote. Like what I said, first, not everyone have the same change to have a remote jobs. Can you tell us the data based on what? And now, do you know? Does your honorable opposition team ever think the consequence of their statement? In another hand, our points are the first to carry away with technology, not soft skills. A lot of Gen Z have a pragmatic mentality. They just want an instant result without knowing the process. They just carry away with technology, not their soft skill. For example, AI. The database on bestcollege.com, 56% of college students have used AI or assignment or exams. Over half of students best college surveyed, 54% say that the use of AI tools on college coursework counts as cheating or plagiarism. And you know what soft skills will be replaced by AI? Like problem solving and communication. Can AI, you know that not every student use AI just for a good side, but with bad side too. And second is, just like my partners say that Gen Z is not hard worker as millennials did. They have a result oriented. What is result oriented? Someone should just see the result and not the process. Like my first point about AI, Gen Z saw AI like an instrument that can make their tasks, their assignment so fast. Not just a student. There are so many artists, content creators using AI. So what's the consequence? There's no unique with that. And this is not long-term benefit. This based on a song that viral in social media named Warung Bekicot. And it's made from AI. It's alright, even though this song is made by AI, but the problem is why this song is more popular than a song that made by human. Do you still think that AI can not replace humans' jobs like an artist? Like we know in the poster in Pemilu, you know that the most is from AI, right? That's why. Do you still think about
AI.
Genzai will no thank you Genzi will change for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to rely on technology. And from before I close my statement, I will accept the POI.
So, in here, I want to ask about why you think that human is that fragile enough and not thinking enough that meanwhile, you know, technology itself is also bad, but we are still human. We are still human, and we can calculate this consequence. And why you are just saying that everyone will doing bad with this technology?
Okay, I said not everyone will do AI, use AI just for a good side. And I'm not say that everyone will use AI just for a bad side. Okay, I'm as the government whip will be going over how Gen Z is hard to get job owing to the lack of creativity. And and the honorable adjudicators, the honorable judges, are you still think that the opponent's team's statement are more good than the government statement? Because I truly proud with our statement and I truly support this motion, this house support that Kenzie will challenge for future jobs more severely due to their tendency to rely on technology. I'm Ainaya as the government whip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the government whip. for the speech. And then to close the entire debate, I call upon the opposition whip. You can start after the countdown.
Before that, I'm so sorry. I could not erase this background because my device is in error right now. So
Is it okay?
is it okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Gen Z is not just about being parent, but they are the maker of technology itself. Everybody in this debate is just going on into the clashes that first technology is limiting the process, the ability, etc. The second is about the emotional IQ. They are not sociable enough for to 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 use this application, to use this technology. But at the end of the day, everyone just said like the government side of the house just said that uh not everyone is doing AI, but they are also saying that one of the content creator is using AI for their writers, for the everything that they have published online. But at the end of the day, we as the maker of the technology, we are the human make we are the human, we are the one who make this. We are beyond that technology. At the end of the day, why we make the technology itself, it's just to ease our daily life, to ease and also to campaign what is important for our life. That's the important why. That's why we need technology. But at the end of this debate, we just really end up being like, it's just because we are not sociable enough as the Gen Z, but they're just saying that every human is just bad. They don't have self defenses. Like in the end of the day, we know as the maker, technology have the side of bad and good. And even if we want to had make or use the technology is for the bad side, we still have those kind of like thinking process about, is it good? Is it good enough? Is it not going to jail or something like that related to law? They're just not the government side of the house. They're just not saying all over about it. They're just playing on their best scenario, not the worst scenario. No, thank you. So let's going to my first refusal. The first is they are just saying that it's limiting the ability of human itself, and they are too dependent on this technology. But really, guys, human is the maker of the technology itself. Like we as we as the Gen Z, we know that Gen Z is socially conscious, and they are just really mental health awareness that crazy enough in this kind of level. But in this debate, I want to clarify that this technology is based, we just revert it to something or tools that we make or help us to get into more sociable enough, to more creative enough, to more like sociable, sensitive to the persons and etc. No, thank you. And it's mirroring to how they are sociable enough to care enough, and with the help of technology itself, it's become the base of their jobs. Like we know, like Charlie D'Amelio shout out to see us the awareness of climate change and etc. And the second capital is about the chance is not about the process and extra. But at the end of the day, technology is help us to make a new informations. Like my speaker saying that by technology we have a lot of informations, like the skills improvement information. Like we know, like in Harvard itself, in Harvard, Yale, and all of the this university is implement like a program for our like the uh high school students to improve their skills. Like we know in Y- IYGS, the summer mid program. That's the reason why. No, thank you. The reason why and prove us that technology itself is really help us into that kind of level, and those kind of skills could make us into the more more welfare of the workshop itself. And the third is about all of like this debate is about like limiting ability and etc. But at the end of the day, we cannot just staying silent to this kind of like innovations. Our parties want to achieve innovations at some point. We want to achieve this by technology itself, by the use technology. We just could
Your
not see
eye.
that technology is the harm. Yes,
You say that we
yes.
are the marker for technology, but I said most of the cases have a result oriented, and we know the marker of AI or most technology is from millennials. What do you think about it?
Can you repeat?
You say that we are the marker of the technology, but I said most of Gen Z have a result oriented. We know the marker of AI or most technology now is from millennials. What do you think about it?
But you don't. Okay, don't you think that our Kenzie is good enough to be the maker? Like we know NASA, like our Kenzie, what is the characteristic of Kenzie itself? Kenzie is first tech savvy and the master of the technology. Even if you say that millennial is the maker, but we also the maker because that because the technology is never stopped. Do you even know that the maker of the MIT for the blind people communications is just a Gen Z, just a college student from the MIT. Doesn't it prove to you that
Your eye.
everyone, yes,
Do you have evidence from what you just said that
yes,
Kenzie
I have
also
the
the
evidence.
maker?
You could just you could just googling in the Google or something like that, and you just search about the MIT students. MIT students just found how to communicate with blind people by just the technological itself of, or we can say it's robotic. And you know, the authority is not instant. They need us Gen Z to continue their company. It's just the regulations of what is technology itself, guys. We are the opposition side of the house.
Okay. Thank you for the opposition whip, and also thank you for everyone in this debate. Okay. Okay. Well, that's mean the end of the debate, and thank you for showing us your high quality debate in the debate contest semifinal of Necesa 3.0 for session 1. And let me inform you some important dates for Necesa 3.0. First, top 4 announcement on January 26, 2025, and grand finals on February 8, 2025. Okay, so please mark your calendar. And for the top 4 announcement, we will inform you tomorrow. We have to tabulate the scores given by the judges first, and please wait for it. And then before we end the sessions, let's take some documentations. Okay, please turn on your camera. Okay, from SMA Alma. Okay, you can turn on your camera. Okay, from SMA Alma do Islami, you can turn on your camera. We will take the documentations and also the judges. Okay, everyone. Okay, I will take the photo from 1, 2, and 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you. So thank you for all of these participants, and you can leave this room. Thank you. Good luck.
That is okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Have all participants for session 1 entered the Zoom meeting? You can read. Okay, please rename your account based on your school. I will check one by one. From SMAN 1 Purwasari, have you entered the Zoom meeting?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And then from SMAN 1 Gondang Wetan, SMAN 1 Gondang Wetan. Okay. And then from
SMA Gondang Wetan.
yes, we're here.
We are here.
Okay, thank you. Please turn on your camera during this competition. Please turn on your camera. From SMA 1 Gondang Wetan, SMA Al Mahadul, please turn on your camera.
Bisa.
From SMA Al Mahadul Islami, can you turn on your camera? Okay, thank you. Well, motion and position as government team and opposition team for each session will be determined 15 minutes before the debate begins. So each team has 15 minutes to build the case, and I will reveal the motions. Okay, thank you. So I will reveal the motion and the position of each team for session 1, for session 2 of semifinal of debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Okay. So as you can see on the display, here the motion used for session 2 in this competitions. This house justifies the inclusiveness to gender and sexual issues, make Gen Z more literate about their roles than millennials. I repeat again, this house justifies the inclusiveness to gender and sexual issues make Gen Z more literate about their rules than millennials. Meanwhile, for the position of its teams, you can see on the display, Rian Adimukti and Shiva Aisyah Lufena Algani, Andi from SMA Negeri 1 Purwosari as the opening government, Basem Hasan Mahmud Ali Al-Salimi, and Mutia Farisatun Nisa from SMA N1 Gondang Wetan as the opening opposition. And then Sipta Alia and Fatima Azara from SMA Al-Mahadul Islami as the closing government. And Ahmad Adrian Samajtid and Anindya Rahmaida Wulandari from SMA Negeri 1 Pasuruan as the closing opposition. Okay, you have 15 minutes to prepare your material and your case. The debate will be commenced after the time is over. Okay, good luck. Okay.
Has it begun yet?
Sorry.
Has it?
Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you can turn on your camera and rename your account based on the format that we already sent to the Telegram. OO, OG, or CO and CG. Please rename your account based on the format that we already sent to the Telegram.
Wait. We already did. That is the way. Care to explain the shorts like OO or something like that? We were having a bit of a trouble understanding that. Masa nggak sih?
Okay.
Can you explain like the CG or the OO thing? We were quite having trouble with that. Like, what's the definition of the shortages?
Okay. You can change your account. Like if you are an OG, you just rename your account like OG, or if you are an opening opposition, you just can rename your account like OO or CG or CO.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
So that. Is our voice audible?
Yes. I will let you to speak after I call you. Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Agnes Salika, and welcome to the semi-final round for debate contest of National English Championship of English Student Association 3.0. It is a prestigious chance for me to be the tournament director for the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. The Honorable Mrs. Ana Asana El Sulukia, SPD, MPD, as the head of English Education Study Program, and respectable Mrs. Emilia Ajeng Lestari, SPD, and Mr. Naso Ihuddin, SPD, as the judges for the semifinal round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Respectable Alia as the chief of committee Necesa 3.0 and all of the participants in session 2 who have attended here. So, and first of all, let's pray and thanks to God who has been giving us some blessing, happiness, healthy, and mercy, so we can attend and participate in this event without any obstacles. Before starting the event, let's pray according to our respective belief. Amen. All right, let's start the semi-final round for session 2 for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Let's start with the judges for semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. Well, we as the committee for debate contest of Necesa 3.0, we ensured that the judges of the semi-final round are very much deserved and qualified to be judging the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. First, we have Mrs. Emilia Ajeng Lestari, SPD, and she is the chief of chemistry, Chat English Mania Access Every Sunday, broadcaster program 2019. And the second, we have Mr. Muhammad Nasoi Hudin, SPD, as the Vice Chief of English Student Association, Universitas Negara Negara 2021 until 2022, and the Chief of English Student Association, Universitas Negara Negara 2022 until 2023. the chief of the Committee of English Competition of 31st Anniversary of ESA, Universitas Bagaimana Negara, and the tournament director of debate contest at National English Championship of English Student Association, Necesa 1.0. So that's it, and welcome our judges for the semi-final round for debate contest at Necesa 3.0, and may you have a wonderful debate. Well, to make it clear for the participant, I will explain to all of you about the system that we use in this contest. We use British parliamentary system for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. First, the debate will consist of 4 teams or of 2%. Person will be known as members. There are opening government, include Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister. Opening oppositions include leader of the opposition and deputy leader of the opposition. Closing government include a member of the government and government whips. And closing opposition include member for the opposition and opposition whip. Member will deliver substantive speech in the following order. First, Prime Minister. Second, Opposition Leader. Third, Deputy Prime Minister. Fourth, Deputy Opposition Leader. Fifth, Member for the Government. Sixth, Member for the Opposition. And 7, Government Whips. And the last, Opposition Whips. Member will deliver a substantive speech of 7 minutes duration and shoot over POI while members of the opposing teams are speaking. Members are permitted to use electronic and printed or written material during preparation and during the debate. The material includes a book, books, journals, newspaper, and other similar material. POI may be asked between first minute mark and the 6-minute mark of the member speech. And to ask a POI, a member should click the right hand button and extend the other towards the member speaking. The member may announce that they would like to ask a POI or use other words to this effect. The member who is speaking may accept or decline to answer the POI, and POI should not exceed 15 seconds in length, and members should attempt to answer at least one POI during their speech, and member should also offer a POI. So that was about the British parliamentary system, and I do hope that all of you can understand well about the system, and there were also some rules and terms in that all members of the debate need to obey. Well, everything has been explained for the semi-final round for session 2 of debate contest of Necesa 3.0. So let's start it. Well, I believe everyone is here, so just like to call upon the teams and just to make sure everyone is here. And before we proceed with the semi-final round, I will checking if opening government of SMAN Satu Purwosari is here. SMAN, are you here? SMAN Satu Purwosari?
Yes.
Yes, we are here.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
please introduce yourself and mention your position. Please introduce yourself.
Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Riana Demukti. I am here as the first speaker.
Of the opening government proposition. Yeah. Hello, I'm Sifa Aisha. I'm from the opening government of the proposition team.
Okay, thank you. And next, we have SMAN Gondang Wetan as the opening opposition.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Basem. I'm the leader of the opposition team.
Hello everyone. I'm Astin Asia, Deputy Leader of Opposition.
Okay, thank you. And then the closing government, we have SMA Al Mahadul Islami.
Hello everyone, I'm Sipalia as the member of government.
Hello, I'm Fatima Zara as the government whip of the government side.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, we have SMAN Satu Pasuruan as the closing opposition.
Okay, good morning. I am Anilia Rahmaida as the member of the opposition.
And I am Ahmad Adrian Jamajid as the closing whip of the opposition.
Okay, all right. I believe everyone is here. So first of all, welcome to the semi-final round for debate contest of National English Championship. We are very expecting a very high quality debate from all of you. And I think before we proceed, can I receive confirmation from all judges that we are ready to proceed? Can you just react with emojis or anything? The judges? Okay, thank you. Okay, so in that case, we can just directly proceed. I call upon Prime Minister to open the semi-final round for debate contest of Necesa 3.0. You can start after I set up the timer.
Starting.
Wait. Okay, you can start after the countdown.
So me, as the first speaker of the proposition team, firmly agreed with the House on this matter. This House asserts that inclusivity regarding gender or sexual issues has made Generation Z more literate about their roles and responsibilities compared to millennials. Gen Z's commitment to diversity and inclusion equips them with a deeper understanding of social dynamics and workplace expectations. My reasoning is that Generation Z is the most diverse generation in history, growing up in an environment that emphasizes inclusivity and equality. This exposure fosters a greater awareness of gender and sexual issues, leading to enhanced literacy about their roles in society and the workplace too. Unlike millennials who faced more traditional views on these topics, Gen Z actively engage in discussion surrounding gender fluidity, sexual orientation, and workplace equity. Their values shape their expectation for fair treatment and representation, making them more informed advocates for equality. Furthermore, Gen Z's digital upbringing allows to access diverse perspectives and resources that enhance their understanding of complex social issues. This generation is not only aware of their rights, but also actively seeks environments that reflect their values, demonstrating a proactive approach to inclusivity. For the first evidence, a recent study from World Economic Forum shows that 75% of Gen Z individuals are more likely to work for companies demonstrating a commitment to diversity and inclusion. This is contrast with millennials who may not prioritize these factors as strongly. Secondly, according to Johns Hopkins University, Gen Z is 92% more likely to participate in protests for rallies or social causes compared to older generation. Nearly 40% are willing to discuss sexism in the workplace society, indicating a readiness to address issues directly. For the third evidence, research made by weareperson.com indicates that 1 in 6 Gen Z individuals identifies as transgender or queer, compared to 1 in 10 millennials. This higher representation leads to a greater discussion about gender identity and inclusivity within their workplace. And then the last evidences, studies made by Sindio, approximately 36% of Gen Z women believe gender equality will improve in the future, a higher percentage than millennials, which is only 25%. This optimism reflects their active engagement with gender issues, and their expectation for equitable treatment in the workplace. In conclusion, Generation Z's heightened literacy regarding gender and sexual issues stems from their commitment to inclusivity and diversity. Their proactive engagement with these topics allows them to navigate their roles with a greater awareness than millennials. As they are enter the workplace, Gen Z is poised to challenge outdated norms and advocate for equitable practice, ensuring that inclusivities become a fundamental aspect of workplace culture moving forward. That's all from me. Thank you. Is there any PI? Excuse me, is there any PI?
Okay, if there are no POI, you can finish.
Langsung di All right, thank you for the time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the Prime Minister for that speech. Next, to open the case on the opposition team, I call upon the leader of the opposition. You can start after the countdown.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As the leader of the opposition side, we clarify that this House do not justify an inclusiveness to gender and sexual issues that make Gen Z illiterate about their own role. Because, Your Excellency, government should realize about inclusiveness is not a solution related to gender issues and policy. The other way, Gen Z should be educate in exclusive way for the right human issues. And also, we also do have a freedom of speech for every gender and everyone who want to be who they are. If we have inclusiveness, this will make some mentally problems and emotions for the people who cannot express their feelings or their issues in their own country. So imagine that you are in your own country and you cannot be supported by who you are and who you want to be. We all got the human right. You got the right to live. You got the right to choose. I got the right to live. I got the right to choose. It's it's an own choice, and you can also look in the other countries such as U.S., Canada, Germany, etc., who are doing better by exclusive, not inclusiveness in the gender and sexual issues. So no, it does not make the Gen Z more liberated about their role. And we should be exclusive and be different than the other generations before us who had the inclusiveness and the closing minded thing. And sometimes if we have, if it's not allowed and it's inclusive, some people who are forcing to do those things, it's a dangerous act if inclusive. Some people might do some illegal things to support their own right, but we cannot have their own right because it's inclusive and it's not available for their own country. We also should support the freedom of speech and talking. We are all should be literated about those things, but it's not. It will not make the millennial less literated or more literated than the Gen Z. Uh, that's that's I think all of that I can say. Thank you. Any POI? Any POI?
Yeah, I want to ask Anton, do you actually agree on the or not?
Okay.
Do you actually agree on the inclusiveness or not? Because you talk about freedom of speech, etc., but it feels like you're agreeing on this motion instead.
Okay. I do not agree with those motions because it's inclusive and it should be exclusive with the human rights issues. It's a way for the human rights issues.
Pardon me, but is it's confusion
Can you
of
repeat
where
that?
we just speak of human rights. Do you even know what inclusiveness even means?
I believe that inclusiveness it will be something that is closed and cannot be expressed.
But inclusiveness means being given a space for someone who cannot speak to be given the right to speak. Inclusiveness does not mean that you are putting someone in a jail or in a box so they can't speak about anything about their opinions, etc., like that, right?
I do reject your POI now because I already answered what your question was. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to the leader of the opposition for that speech. Moving forward, I call upon the Deputy of Prime Minister to close the case from opening government. You can start after the countdown.
So, thank you for the moderator. Today, we argue that the inclusiveness regarding gender and sexual issues has indeed made Gen Z more literate about their roles compared to our predecessors, the millennials. So, first, inclusiveness. The inclusiveness this considers like education. Gen Z has grown up in an era where discussion about gender, sexuality, and etc., are not only accepted but also encouraged. The policies in our schools, workplace, and media have been normalized to have these kind of conversations, which leads to a better understanding and awareness. For example, like there is now a mainstream where Gen Z are more open about the problems about sexism, etc. Secondly, inclusiveness builds empathy and self-awareness. Gen Z doesn't merely tolerate the diversity, they also embrace it, like including sex education programs, which is very important, which millennials didn't have back then. Representation with the media, they are exposed with the wider spectrum of identities experience, giving them a more nuanced understanding of their roles in society. So just like the millennials of the women back then should just be housewives or something like that. But nowadays, we rarely have that. Millennials, by contrast, came from an age where society is less accepting of this conversation. That means leaving gaps in their understanding and empathy. And finally, Gen Z challenges outdated norms. Millennials might have begun the conversation, but Gen Z is the one who's taking it to the new heights, openly confronting the system's issues like toxic masculinity, etc., with TikTok instead Instagram. So from what I heard from the opposition is that millennials laid the foundation for inclusivity and Gen Z simply heard it. Well, that's true that millennials were the one who started it. The depth of understanding between millennials and Gen Z is often superficial. The opposition team will also say exposure to inclusivity doesn't mean equal understanding, which is a weak point because inclusivity leads to structural changes that ensure understanding is backed by education, like how schools now have more support system, inclusive curriculums, promote real dialogue, etc. Gen Z online activism is shallow and performative, like it's just following a trend. However, this critic also ignores the tangible impact of the Gen Z advocacy, like the Me Too, which Gen Z amplified and have led to actual real policy reforms, such as the anti-harassment training, etc. Millennials hypocrisy. Millennials often talk about the supportive inclusivity and they often perpetuate harmful stereotypes. For instance, like the early social media talking about sexism and something like that. Gen Z has cleaned up that kind of legacy, and we are very thankful for that. Is there any POI? Okay, if there isn't, then I'd like to close this statement. Thank you. Is there any POI? Hello? If there isn't, we'd like to close this statement. I'd like to close this statement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the Deputy Prime Minister for the speech. Next, I call upon the Deputy Leader of the Opposition to close the case from opening opposition.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Deputy Leader of Opening Opposition Side. Okay, first, we all know Gen Z is the generation that has never experienced a life without the internet. The use of digital technology has become an important part of our daily routine. That influence that their characteristics like data show that has a high openness to experience is the characteristics unique from Gen Z. Your excellent government and human right that's me exclusive is not inclusive. In the other way, Gen Z must take a part in understanding rights of human. And so of that, in conclusion, we agree of why humans must be inclusive if we can be exclusive. And just as for public education, not just about sex in illegal, right? So in like inclusive people is affect is really bad for the life. And that is dangerous. Okay, I think just inclusiveness to gender and sexual issues make against literally about their roles than millennial. In content, different status in terms and human. I'm taken down. And that is enough for me. Any question?
Are you done? Okay, thank you. The Deputy Leader of Opposition for your speech. Next, to open the closing half of the debate, I call upon the member of government. You can start after the countdown.
Thank you, the honorable. Thank you, the honorable educators, as the members of the oppositions and also respected audiences, who stands today to affirm that gender and sexual minorities are indeed more liberated in their roles today than their millennials counterparts. That's why we totally agree with the argument of the government team. Ladies and gentlemen, social media as a tool for awareness and advocacy, platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter have been have been pivotal in raising awareness about gender and sexual issues. Gen Z uses the platform not only to consume but also to create content that challenges stereotypes and promotes inclusivity. A 2023 Pew Research study showed that 70% of Gen Z adults engage with content related to gender and sexuality online, compared to only 48% of millennials during the formative years. This access has made Gen Z more informed, empathic, and vocal about these issues. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to add some arguments. First, greater social media and engagement activism. Now, Gen Z more likely to engage in social justice activism, such as advocating for gender inclusivity through platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and make them greater awareness about gender and sexual issues. Different from the millennia, social media activism was still in infancy during their formative years because there is no platform like Instagram, TikTok, and etc. The evidence is 50% of Gen Z report being involved in activism of gender and sexual issues through social media. This active involvement that help Gen Z develop and a better understanding their roles in informative for equality. That's all for me. Any POI? If there is no POI, I would like to close the statement.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your attention. That's all.
Okay, thank you for the member of government. Next, I will call upon the member of the opposition. You can start after the countdown.
Okay, in the world overflowing with information, does Gen Z truly grasp the complexities of their roles, or are they just skimming the surface of deeper, more nuanced issues? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable judges and respected member of the government team. I am Anidia Rahmaida as the member of opposition, and we are here today to bring this debate to its logical conclusion. The government has argued that Gen Z's exposure to inclusivity on gender and sexual issues makes them more literate about their roles than millennials. However, we in the opposition maintain that this motion oversimplifies the issues and fails to account for the complexities of literacy, understanding, and the real life impacts of such exposure. We acknowledge that Gen Z has grown up in an environment where inclusivity is more normalized, but exposure alone doesn't guarantee a deeper understanding. True literacy about one's role in society comes from more than just access to information. It requires the ability to critically engage, reflect, and navigate these complex social dynamics. Gen Z's access to a vast amount of information, particularly through social media, does not necessarily mean that they comprehend these issues on deeper level. In fact, much of what they consume is fragmented and often influenced by viral trends which are far removed from the nuance and reflective thinking that true literacy requires. Moreover, we must give credit where it is due. Millennials play pivotal role in creating the inclusive environment that Gen Z now benefits from. They fought for rights, pushed boundaries, and laid the groundwork for the conversation that Gen Z is now able to engage in. Without the advocacy and progress of millennials, the environment in which Gen Z grew up would not have been possible. Therefore, to claim that Gen Z literacy is somehow greater or more advanced ignore the contribution of millennial and the critical context in which this progress was made. As I said before, millennials, having grown up in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, were part of the generational shift that laid the groundwork for the significant progress in the gender roles and equality. They were the driving force behind several key movements and changes, such as the rise of feminism 3.0. Millennials played an integral role in the resurgence of feminism. They were vocal about issues like workplace equality, reproductive rights, sexual harassment, and equal pay. Movements like Me Too, which gained significant momentum in the late 2010s, were sparked by millennial activists who raised awareness about systemic gender inequality and called for social change. They amplified the issues that Gen Z continued to advocate for today. But the advocacy from Gen Z now has little value to society back then. Feminism is about equality, now it's about competing against one another, which is counterproductive to the whole idea of equality where all genders are equal. And also, millennials started critically examining gender stereotypes and traditional role in a more pronounced way than in prior generation. This can be seen in in media, where millennials push for more representation of women in leadership roles, as well as male characters that break away from traditional stereotypes. Millennials, particularly in the 20s and 2010s, saw legislative victories like the introduction of workplace anti-discrimination laws and movement of advocating for equal pay. This effort create a more inclusive foundation upon which Gen Z now stands. While Gen Z is in the literate about gender roles, their understanding doesn't exist in a vacuum. They stand on the shoulder of the millennial generation who work tirelessly to push for inclusivity and more gender equal policies. Gen Z has the benefit of living in a world where many of these norms are already changing and they are able to access more information about gender and sexual issues than millennials did at their age. Gen Z has inherited and the benefits of the cultural and policy shift that millennials fought for, then they don't have to fight the same battles that millennials did in the terms of advocating for things like equal pay legislation or workplace harassment protection. They have been able to build on the progress millennials started. While Gen Z has grown up in a time of more accessible and varied information, and it's thanks to the internet and social media, millennials were vocal in advocating for the changes that made this information widely available in the first place. For example, while Gen Z may now take issues like gender inclusivity for granted, it was millennials who pushed for this discussion, gaining mainstream attention and creating online spaces where people could access resources and engage in this conversation. Therefore, the honorable judges, while Gen Z may have grown up in an inclusive environment, don't you think that simply having access to information doesn't equate to a deep understanding? Shouldn't we acknowledge that it was millennials who fought for the inclusivity Gen Z now benefits from, and that true literacy requires more than just exposure. It requires critical engagement and reflection. Thank you.
POI.
Later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the member of the opposition. And then to close the case from the government, I go up the government whip. You can start after the countdown.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you as the second speaker for the government side, and today we are here to prove that millennials, my estimate, first speaker has already provided a strong foundation for our argument, and in my speech I will further explain and strengthen our speech by addressing two key points this time. The first, the The role of inclusiveness is creating a more informed and accepting generation. Number two, the impact of technology and real-time engagement of Gen Z literacy about gender and sexual issues. And also, I want to straighten our arguments for the government team that social media as a tool for awareness and advocacy. We all know that this Gen Z has already prepared with some technology that is more higher volume. Gen Z has grown up with the more research, presentation, and open discussion on gender and sexual issues than millennials had. These environments make it more easier for them to learn and engage at a deeper level, and even if the process takes time, which I still at my state that I strongly believe that that we should that it justifies our motion for today. And as our closing, we will demonstrate that Gen Z only embodies a more liberated approach to gender and sexual roles, but they also challenge the traditional limits set by previous generation, making strides in replacing social norms for the better. Yep, that's all from me. Sharing highlight. Thank you. Is there any KI? Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay. Okay, thank you from government whip. And then I will call upon the opposition whip. You can start after the countdown.
Greetings, your honorable adjudicators and the members of this house. As the government whip, my role is to bring this to clarity to this debate and solidify why the opposition stands at the best path forward. Throughout this debate, we have consistently shown that millennials are the one who paved the way for Gen Z to continue it. We have shown that the true nature of real understanding of genders and sex roles. And how our arguments directly address the real issues at hand, tangible in the long-term solution. As the second speaker of the opening government stated that Gen Z embraced diversity by introducing sexual educations to school. This does not show the implications and the dangers of sex educations being addressed. While it's true that Gen Z has more access to information about gender and sexuality than before, this could actually be a double-edged sword. Having such access to unverified and often conflicting information throughout the internet, social media, and other platforms could lead to confusion, misinformation, and decisions that individuals might regret later. First, misinformation and unverified content. Gen Z is currently consistently bombarded with information from social media, online articles, and forums that may not always be reliable or fact-checked. Because of this, they may be exposed to dangerous information about gender roles, sexual behaviors, or medical procedures such as sex reassignment surgery or hormonal treatments. Since these sources are not always credible, young people make decisions based on distorted or incomplete knowledge, which could lead to harmful consequences on in life, such as regretting life-altering decisions like transitioning or undergoing medical procedures before they fully understand the implications and dangers of that. Second, the curiosity and experimentation. At, at a young age, curiosity is natural, but it can also be dangerous when it comes to complex and sensitive issues such as gender fluidity and sexual identity without proper context. They may feel pressured to exploring more options they may not be ready for. This includes things like engaging in sexual activities prematurely, such as free sex, considering hormone treatments or sex reassignment surgeries, or making decisions about their bodies that they might regret later. The impulse to experiment without fully understanding the consequences is part of why early exposure to sexual education is harmful. Now, I would like to tackle on the confusion due to the inadequate education. While sex education has become more common in schools, it often remains brief and superficial. Based on the IDOSR Journal of Applied Science on 2020, pointed out that most sex educations provided in schools are overly simplistic and doesn't deliver deep complexities of gender identities or sexual health. Without comprehensive or accurate nuanced education, students may end up with a limited understanding of their roles and bodies. Additionally, teachers who are not even qualified to train have been put into roles to actually educate the young. Finally, the risk of regret. With the rise of social media influencers, online communities, and forums promoting different gender identities and sexual practices, young people may be encouraged to explore the things they are not fully prepared for. Some might pursue irreversible decisions such as hormone therapy or surgeries based on the influence of online trends, only to regret them later on in life. Now, conclude this, millennials have already paved the path for gender roles by fighting in legal forms such as victories in workplace due to equal pay and sexual harassment, advocating for more inclusivity in society, creating the foundation on which Gen Z now stands on. While Gen Z may have a higher level of literacy due to the accessibility of information and the societal change, millennials are the ones who fought for it. They are still benefiting from the work done by millennials. Thus, it is not just a matter of Gen Z being more literate, but rather Gen Z's literacy and these issues are a continuation of the work by millennials. So while Gen Z may be informed due to more inclusive environments and educational tools, we must recognize that millennials are the one that play the critical role by creating the environment and pushing for these changes that Gen Z now has the ability to take advantage of. And fully understanding this, Gen Z does not have a higher literacy, they just have access to higher information. They don't know the implications and the benefits and the impacts of these informations. We are from the closing opposition team. We would like to close this forum. Thank you very much.
POI.
No, thank you. We are the closing
Okay.
opposition.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you for the opposition whip for your speech and also everyone in this debate. And thank you for showing us your high quality debate in the debate contest semifinal of Necesa 3.0. And that's mean the end of the debate. And before that, let me inform you some important dates for Necesa 3.0. Top 4 announcement on January 26, 2025, and grand finals on February 8, 2025. Okay, please mark your calendar. And for the top 4 announcement, we will inform you tomorrow. We have to tabulate the score given by the judges first. And on behalf of the committee, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to all participants who have attended to the semifinal round of Necesa 3.0. Best luck for all of our participants, and may the best performance wins and may the best team wins. Okay, and before we leave this room, maybe we can take some documentations. Please turn on your camera. Okay, please turn on your camera. Apa sih? Ini kayak Okay, I will take the documentation from 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay, one more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Thank you so much for everyone here, and you can leave this room, and best luck for you. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am, can I ask something?
Yes?
So I feel like personally this debate is uncompleted because many POIs are being denied. I feel like the essence of debate is not being given here because it feels like most people are being cowards in this situation because there are many things that we want to say, but because we don't either have the time or etc like that, it feels like they are trying to close the gates of actually making a logical or comprehensive argument.
Okay, thank you. Maybe because the participant is not accept your POI, that's why you cannot ask the POI. And maybe it's also have a form for judges to give us another scores about that.
But the ma'am literally just said that every team must at least have some sort of POI. So I believe that this is kind of like a violation of the law itself, of the rule itself.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I would like to also ask a question because as
Yeah,
I've
sure.
read based on the British Parliament, based on the British parliamentary system, that the closing opposition will not be able to take or is not able to take
I'm
POIs.
not only talking about your position. I'm talking
Yes,
about
I
your
know that,
peers
but
and
certain
others.
positions,
No,
like
look,
the closing
here's the
government
thing.
and
If that
opposition, cannot
system is
take
actually right
POIs.
to
So
argue, then you
justifying that
are also
you
arguing
you
about
are the
the
only one
rule
that's taking
itself.
POI doesn't
Look,
justify
the
any other
British
things.
Parliament is saying, okay, I know
Sorry,
that.
sorry.
I know that you are in the closing. I know that. But I'm also talking about the fact that there is no repercussion for those who do not actually follow the rule. Do you understand what I mean?
Do you understand the rules yourself?
Okay, thank you. So I think enough for today. You can get the information about this debate tomorrow. Thank you so much. You can leave this room.